You're listening to the Science of CX. My name is Steve Pappas. I'm known for my relentless pursuit of all things customer. Across my career, and also in my 6 startups, I've had to learn how to make decisions in business that customers really respond to. Let's spend some time together and help your business soar, grow, and accelerate. Thanks for joining us again. My name is Steve Pappas, and you're listening to The Science of CX. Today's episode is going to be covering an interesting area. I get a lot of questions posed to me around how can CX be a competitive advantage? How can you look at customer experience as a topic area, as a strategy to promote a more competitive differentiator and advantage? Let's break that down today. So let's break down the new competition landscape from what happened even 20 years ago, 50 years ago, or 100 years ago even. Let's go that far back, right? So let's talk a little bit about what the landscape looks like in a more digital competitive world today. So let's think about that. 100 years ago, let's think about the Old West. We'll think about the spaghetti Western with the lone rider coming into town. Well, they would always go by one of everything. One saloon, one hotel, one funeral parlor, one hardware store, one blacksmith, one general store, et cetera, right? Which meant no choice. Which meant you needed something, you went to that particular store to get it. We didn't have the luxury of catalog buying, home shopping networks, or even Amazon, right? So you actually went to one store. So that kind of brought up an interesting change. Was choice was not a factor back then. If you didn't like the price, you didn't buy it. You couldn't play one vendor off another because it would probably take you a 3 days ride to get to the next town to do price comparison shopping. So in looking at customer experience in the past few years, that's become a very powerful buzzword. But it also really looks at the question, has it been implemented well? And have companies really realized a competitive advantage? So most people will know what an excellent customer experience is, but they probably don't think about it as one of the most potentially used competitive advantages when it comes to winning new customers and keeping them. So knowing if you're doing it right is kind of an interesting question there. So I've looked at the buyer evolution quite closely over the last 20 years and probably developed my first buyer's process mapping in the 90s. The one thing that's evolved more than anything is what I call choice brain. So let me define that a little bit. We have more choices today for the purchases that we make than ever before in the history of mankind. But the buyer experience today is all about how they look at those choices and how they continuously weigh the options. So consumers really are very astute at knowing what they want. They know how to research it. They have a keyboard. They have a phone. They know how to research it. They know how to find all the peer reviews, both good and bad. They even are getting really good at discerning fake reviews from true reviews, which is an important point to keep in mind. They've even figured out how to look for the absolute best prices. There are search engine galore. There are shopping engines. There are things that will find them the best price no matter where it is. But I believe choice brain boils down to 3 important factors. One is time, two is money, and three is effort. So by understanding these variables of the three factors, we should be able to overcome the deficiencies in our own competitive landscape. So let me give you an example here. Let's say, as I'm feeling the headphones on my head, you're looking to buy a new pair of headphones. You do the research to figure out which model, what style, what brand. You then look for local deals and online deals. But then you remember, hey, we've got a Bose outlet at the outlet mall only an hour away. So here's where the magic happens in the choice brain. You begin to weigh the factors. Is it worth your time to rearrange your schedule, have someone else pick up the kids, not go to that particular meeting, etc., to make the drive to the outlet and get a good deal along with maybe the custom touch that only the vendor can provide? Do you go to Target or Walmart or Best Buy that's right near you and pay a little more, but you save the drive time? Or do you go online and wait 2 days to receive the product? You bought it online, you saved money, but you're waiting. Or is there a fourth option, and you pay even more money and you go to some audiophile store to get the best product with the best advice and the best care from truly knowledgeable consultants? See how many choices that our brain has to filter through when we're making a simple purchase of a new pair of headphones? So in looking at what just happened, we've evolved as consumers. And now with too many choices, we think differently. Our brains are evolving continuously when it comes to business, when it comes to purchases, when it comes to all of these things. So we think more about our time, the cost, and the effort we have to put into every single purchase. We have a choice between getting the product now, waiting for 2-day shipping. We've got a choice between getting an in-person high-touch experience or taking our chances with a visual from a website with a bunch of reviews. But all the while, we still want a remarkable and satisfyingly memorable experience. So that's a real important part of that. Let's bring it back to where the bar is set today, because all of those options that we just talked about may be okay, but we have to think about, well, where is the bar? Most of us as consumers think that, well, knowledgeable staff, the right price, the right availability is the standard today. So what's going to truly make us go the extra mile or pay the extra money or spend the extra time? It's going to center around the experience that we get, the experience that we feel, the atmosphere, everything about the whole buying experience is important. So now if we throw it back into the competitive advantage, the businesses that are truly looking at customer experience from every aspect, and if you're a brick and mortar solution, it has to be down to the senses of your customers. They're going to see things, they're going to smell things, they're going to hear things. What are your answers to those things? How do you create a pleasant experience that they're going to remember, that they're going to talk about? So I always boil down my business mantra into 2 words. Is it memorable and is it remarkable? So memorable means I'm going to remember it and it's going to stick with me. So remember, the memorable part equals loyalty. The remarkable part creates an army of marketing and salespeople out there to carry the torch for your business's growth. So I hope this has helped. This was about, can CX truly be a competitive advantage? You've been listening to the Science of CX. My name is Steve Pappas. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if you have, the highest compliment that you can give us is to subscribe, rate, and review the Science of CX. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next episode.